How did you first become a worship leader?
Actually, my start was as a child. My mother was the minister of music. When I started, we really wasn't called worship leaders. We were called choir directors or ministers of music. And so when I was 13, my mother stopped playing so I could play. And from there, the rest is history.
How does being a worship leader extend beyond directing the choir on Sundays?
Well, first we have lots of rehearsals. We have to also build relationships. There are times we counsel. There are times we have to help. Pastor says this one thing, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Who are your musical inspirations?
I have so many. My mother, my godmother, they both were ministers of music at churches. The Clark sisters, Gladys Knight. So this is kind of a spectrum of them. I love Oleta Adams.
What is your favorite song of yours to minister and why?
Well, today my favorite song is I'll Just Trust Your Word. I wrote that song at a very critical time in my life. My mother dropped dead suddenly on a New Year's Eve, and I just felt shocked and numb. And I had God had this conversation with me about that He was the God that my mother trusted, and she put that in me so I could trust Him even at that particular time. So I get a real joy. I believe I went through that because someone else is going through that, and I get to share that. And so that's my favorite song right now.
The mission of Seventh Made Online is to help and encourage people to strive to be spiritually whole. That means continuous growth in the spirit, as we feel that we should never stop learning. What do you do to ensure that you continuously grow in the spirit?
Well, because I'm in church all the time, I get to hear some wonderful sermons all the time. So I learn a lot right at Windsor. And then I do some extra study myself. And then I go to empowerment things for women. Mm-hmm.
What was the greatest test of your faith?
Actually, the greatest test of my faith has been my recent illness. I was diagnosed with an abscess on my appendix, and I had to put the word that I've learned all my life into action by actually speaking the word over my body and using the authority that God has given us as His children to command the body to line up with the word of God. And so that was the greatest test of my faith, to understand the facts and still know the truth.
What's your favorite Bible verse?
I have so many favorites, but what comes to mind right now is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
What about Kathy Taylor don't people know that you wish they actually knew?
That's a good one. That's a good question. I think if it's something that I would want the world to know about me is that my sincere love for Christ and how much it is important to me to please Him. Now, if you're talking on a personal note, I think I want everybody to know right now, I'm in my 4th week with a trainer for 3 days a week. Keep me in your prayers.